Hello, boys and girls. This week we have been working on retelling the story Silly Sarah. Retelling just means telling the story again. When we think about how to retell the story, we also think about important parts in our story, like the character, the setting, what happens in the beginning, middle, and the end. So far this week, we have talked about what happened in the beginning and in the middle, and who the character is and what the setting is in the story Silly Sarah. Today, we're going to talk about what happens at the end of the story. Let's read the story one more time.
Sarah, written by Maribeth Bolts, illustrated by Sherilyn Barnes. Mama says to Silly Sarah, "Follow closely and obey. Now that lesson time is over, Silly Sarah, you can play." Piggies roll in muddy puddles. Silly Sarah sings, "Me too." Silly Sarah swims and splashes, doing what her new friends do. Silly Sarah sees 6 ponies. Silly Sarah joins the race. Around the barrels, over fences, Silly Sarah takes last place. Mole is digging holes and tunnels. Mole sits up and looks about. Is that Silly Sarah squeezing in a hole and through and out? Then she runs into the meadow. Dog is herding sheep. What fun! There is barking, running, quacking. Silly Sarah, are you done? Now the sun is slowly setting. Mama Duck knows what's best. Mama kisses Silly Sarah and tucks her gently in to rest.
Now that we have finished reading the story, we're going to fill out our story map. This week, we have already filled out some parts of the map. For example, we filled out the setting, which is where the story takes place. Silly Sarah is on a farm. We also filled out the characters. We know that Sarah is the main character of the story. We filled out the beginning of the story and the middle of the story. In Silly Sarah, in the beginning, when Mother Duck told Sarah to go play, Silly Sarah played in the mud. In the middle, Silly Sarah dug a hole with Mole. Now we're going to find the end of the story. To find the end, we're going to read the last parts of the book. I'm going to read the last parts one more time. Now the sun is slowly setting. Mama Duck knows what's best. Mama kisses Silly Sarah and tucks her gently into rest. Now I can go back to my story map and I can fill out the last chart. I know that Silly Sarah, after playing with other animals, went back to Mama. Mama gave her a kiss and she decided to rest. So I'll fill out the picture and I'll write the sentence. Mama gave her a kiss and Silly Sarah got to rest. This is how you can retell a story. You will talk about the setting, where the story takes place, characters, a person or an animal in the story, and what happened in the beginning, middle, and the end. That way, even if a person doesn't read the story with you, you can tell the other person all about the story. Now it is your turn. Fill out your story map for Silly Sarah and tell another person in your family about the story that happened.